Another thing that's happened on the site is that the windows have arrived and they've been fitted, which is an enormous step forward, because it means that we're now watertight. So the inside can start to dry out. We can start first fix of MVHR and electrics and plumbing. So that's a real step forward. And the key thing about windows is not only the quality of the unit that you specify, but also the way that they're installed. Absolutely crucial. So this is a triple glazed Internorm window, which has got a thermally broken frame. It's a timber hybrid frame, so there's a timber sort of substructure with an aluminium exterior with this nice kind of metallic, kind of semi-bronzy finish on the outside. And what that does is it means that they have a layer of thermal insulation between the timber and the outside. So even when you've got a triple glazed unit, you can get heat losses through the frame. Here, that frame is thermally broken. So you're not going to get as much heat loss through the frame. So all in all, this unit has got an incredibly high thermal performance of about 0.7 U value, which is wonderful, considering most double glazed windows will be about 1.1, 1.2. So it's a different sort of league. But the window itself is really only half the story when it comes to glazing in buildings. A really crucial part, and something that's often not done well or properly, is installation. There's quite a few stages to a proper installation of a window and a number of different products that you use. And from the outside you can see a couple of those. Now the first is this tape here, and this is an expanding tape, and there's a number of makes on the market. And what they do is that when you pull off the paper on either side of them, you stick them to the window and they start to expand. They basically suck in air and get bigger, and they want to blow out to about this sort of width. A tape like that will want to blow out to about this sort of width. It then fills all of the gaps between the frame and the building with this wonderful sort of airtight, watertight seal. And the reason that's so clever compared to a more traditional mastic product is that the mastic starts to go hard over time. It just inevitably starts to go harder. And then if you get any movement between the window and the building, from buffering from wind and weather, you get micro cracks, you start getting air leakage and potentially water leakage. So the first thing that they've done here is installed a lining paper around the reveal, okay? So that's what everything's bonding to. Then there is the tape attached to the window. On the outside, there's a final layer, which is over here. So then the final layer on the sort of outside of the window, the final weatherproofing layer, is another tape product. There is a lot of layers to this, that's absolutely true, but you stick another layer on the edge of the window frame. This will then get covered up by the reveals that will come in and sit inside there. And that comes out and tapes over that entire joint and onto the front face of our breathable layer. We will then bring our external breather membrane over this tape and tape all across that. So we're getting a complete wind tightness layer. So you get wind tightness layer on the outside of the building, an air tightness layer on the inside of the building. And that stops any wind blowing through the insulation or blowing through the inside of the window frame and driving moisture into the structure of the building.